I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church, right here in Beaumont, Texas, and we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today, my special guest is Mr. Christopher Williams. Welcome, Christopher.
What's going on, Pastor
Hold
Sharp?
on, man. Hold on. Look. Chris is a superstar has his own mail. I'm telling you, look, he got his own mail. You probably got this in your mailbox.
Come on.
Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Superstar.
Man, I can't come. You got me all messed up on that. But I'm appreciative, Pastor Sharp. Thank you, man, for the opportunity. I appreciate you. That is something else, you know.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I know y'all receive these. I got one of these in my mailbox.
Every time I see it, I laugh. And every time I see it, I'm thankful. You know, it's a wonderful opportunity to talk about what's going on in our neighborhood, in our city.
But hold up, man. You are Silsby homegrown.
Hey, you know, good things come out of Silsby, man. You know you're a pastor. They say, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Anything good come out of Silsby? Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So tell us, what are you here for today, man?
Well, I want to talk about LIT.
What is LIT?
Lamar Institute of Technology. We're here in Beaumont, Texas. One of the leading schools in graduating students in technology and a whole bunch of other things. But I'm just excited to be a part of the movement. I think something is happening in our city. LIT is at the forefront of that, and I'm glad to be a part.
So how did you get involved with LIT?
Oh, man, that's really truly a long story that we'll have to cut short. But I think by way of being back in the city, I could say that I'm a graduate of Silsby High School. And like many graduates at that time, left and went to college and established their families. A very long story short, actually, my wife works with ExxonMobil, got an opportunity to move back to the area and be closer to our family, and then also pursue some other career opportunities. Got here, I was in medicine actually. Before I moved back, I was doing sports medicine. Came back to the area, figured that I wanted to do something a little different than go to the plants and do different things like that. And so education became one of my objectives. And through a course of action, doing some schools and some community work, met Dr. Lonnie Howard. Yeah, he invited me to be part of his team, and the rest is history. Here we are.
We had Dr. Lonnie on our show to talk about LIT.
Absolutely.
And man, he has an incredible testimony.
Yes.
My God. We might have to re-air that broadcast because, man, when you hear his testimony, it's powerful.
It really is. It really is. And it gives encouragement. We use that in some of my recruiting that I do as a recruiter going out to the community. I like to tell stories, and his is very powerful. It's one of change and opportunity, and so it's a good deal.
And that's what you are. You are an outreach recruiter. Look, I got his business called Outreach Recruiter Student Services.
That's right. Yeah, I get to go in the highways and the byways, man. You know, I feel that I like the good news, you know, and as we share as a man of God, you know, sharing the gospel, I think the good news of opportunity has to be spread, and that's what we're doing as recruitment at LIT.
So what's the sole purpose of LIT?
Well, LIT is a unique creation. It can be categorized as a 2-year or junior college or community college, but it really is a lot different. It's an institution that was specifically created to teach technology, computer sciences, general education, and to really, at its core, it really was developed to help our refineries and business owners in the area. At it earliest as what I know, before it became LIT Institute of itself, it was a part of Lamar University.
Right.
And what happened is that there was a need for some of the refineries to create a certain type of valve or pump or something that needed to be created. And they created a group of students, engineers, people that were working in the refineries to create the blueprints for the piece of equipment. And that spurred off into starting to teach students this skill in this job market.
Now, what surprised me is, statistically speaking, there's almost 7,000 students who are enrolled in LIT.
It's an amazing number, and even though our campus is small, you wouldn't think that 7,000 students would actually fit physically there. It's a combination. It's a combination of some things, some of our dual enrollment programs that go through our high school students. They are LIT students. Some of our online courses that we offer, those are LIT students also. And then, of course, our credit students that are there on our campus.
Yeah, because you have 25 Associate of Applied Science degrees that you offer there.
Yeah, yes, that is a huge deal in itself. And I'm telling you, as a recruiter, one of the problems or the very welcome dilemmas that I have is going through every program and explaining that. I talk to a lot of people in the community, and when I give them that statistic, 26 associate degree program, 6 of those programs are completely transferable, and we can talk about that to any four-year institution, Lamar University, more importantly in our area, and 27 certificates. Now, just those numbers alone, you would think, can all of that come out of LIT? But it really does. It's a lot of programs, a lot of opportunities, valid, and like we like to say, workable degrees that work.
Wow. Degrees
that actually, once we train you, you can move in entry-level positions into a lot of job markets and really make some very competitive salaries.
Now I'm going to jump to that real quick since you mentioned it, because a student who comes out of LIT can potentially make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 plus
Absolutely.
A year.
Absolutely. That statistic.
That is just mind.
It's mind blowing because of 2 things. I think we generationally, the landscape of education has changed. We were going through a period in time where there needed to be the lawyers and doctors, and people still pursue those.
Right.
But one of the things that we found across the board is that most students would be better benefited from shorter learning times, you know, 2-year degree opportunities and skill set training. Right now, there's a huge skill set gap in between the baby boomers that are retiring, that really started with all of that skill. We went through a place where we were not training that type of student. Now those baby boomers are retiring, and the skilled workforce and the supply and demand is really ramping up, and that's what we fill that gap. We fill that employment gap.
Now you're talking about like welders and pipe fitters and things of that sort?
Absolutely. Just to name a few, to go through some of the ones that's most popular at our school is the process operator, instrumentation. Those guys we know go out to the plants and do some of that very important work that's there in our refineries. Our welders in construction needs are superseding expectation. There are almost 200,000 positions that are open for welders across the United States of America.
I was just talking to a young lady whose company was hiring welders, and they were paying them top dollar because it is such a limited field of people.
Absolutely.
That they will pay you just.
I'm telling you,
I've been crazy. I mean, it's like, oh my God, really?
Listen, I went to a 4-year school, man, and before I started working here, I've never gotten the salaries that these guys are making coming out, but it's still a part to tell people about that. You know, they're starting entry level $25, $30 an hour, unlimited work potential. The opportunities are there, and people are literally writing their ticket to wealth and changing. That's one of the things I like, changing generational patterns in their families with a skill set, and it's amazing.
Because just think, kid comes out of high school at 18, goes to LIT for 2 years, 20 years old, 21-year-old, come out, go into process operating, go into accounting, technology, go into computer information systems, go into instrumentation, go into dental hygiene, go into welding, and now they are creating wealth at 21 years old. An
unimaginable amount of wealth. I'll tell you real fast, we had a story of a young lady that was a resident here in our city. And that's one of the things that I like about this. This is a resident in our city, came from a family that was disadvantaged to some sort, all of those criteria, whatever they are, that fit her mold. So she came, got in a 2-year program. We have a co-art program at LIT with a number of the refineries, but specifically speaking in this instance with BASF. And they were pulling out interns to be in their process operator. So this young lady, which is again an untraditional student in an untraditional workforce, which is predominantly dominated by men, she came in, found her place, and they offered her an amazing amount of money. She went from literally as a broke college student, 0 income, making it. And she came to me with tears in her eyes. One of the things that I love telling about that story is that she said, no one in my family has ever made this amount of money. And all it took for her was a willingness to do her best, an investment in herself for 2 years. And we had people that were on board to bring her in and give her a new experience.
You know, some people look at LIT as not worthy of going to because it's not a 4-year college, and you know, but everybody's not built for a 4-year college, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I think what we see is a rise again of another culture that we really, it's not personally what someone is able to do or accomplish. It's what I feel that we've understood the value of certain skill set, the value of certain workers and certain titles. And culturally, we need these people to step up. You know, I had somebody come out to my house the other day because my AC was out. And Mama was mad. She was mad. Mama ain't happy when it's mad. And she's sweating, and the kids sweating, and everybody's nagging at each other. You know, the salvation for my household was the HVAC man.
Which probably came out of LIT.
He did, as a matter of fact, he did. The HVAC guy came out, you know, because the need was there. And I think geographically, there's a certain amount of things that are happening that really speak to some of the programs that are needed. Our construction is booming in the area. There's almost $300 billion worth of expansion happening in the Gulf. And a lot of that is coming right through LIT and right through our local refinery. So we have a great opportunity in front of us.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about the academic transfer degrees that can go into a 4-year college, because maybe the student wasn't as productive in high school and doesn't meet the requirement to go into a 4-year institution.
That's a great example to bring that in, yeah. And that's really what happens, because we never want to diminish the importance of 4-year degrees, because we need those people too. And usually they're your higher long-term degrees like doctors, lawyers, engineers, and so forth. It's all a great balance.
That's right.
And so what we do with that is students that want to pursue a 4-year, 6-year doctoral degree, we can get them started with a number of degree plans that are what we call essentials or core curriculum. And in that core curriculum, I think I had it listed in the areas of Associates of Arts in General Studies, Associates of Arts in Business, Associates of Science in Criminal Justice, Associates of Science in Biological Sciences, Associates of Science in Mathematics, and Associates of Science in Computer Information Systems.
Okay.
These are 3 degree plans that can, as you take your core, can be transferred, every one of those classes.
Wow.
Because the difficulty in some transfer processes is that there may be classes that you take at one institution that do not transfer to another.
Right.
And so you come in with this idea, oh, I'll just go and transfer and continue this for a bachelor, and then you miss those classes or they don't accept them.
Right.
But these programs, and more importantly, they're with our local 4-year college, Lamar University. So you can start at LIT, which gives you how can I put it, a smaller campus space, a smaller environment to deal with. Our classrooms are pretty much a 40 to 1 ratio in most of our classrooms, 40 students to 1. And there are some students that need that extra attention. We can provide that at LIT and not diminish the value of the education. The curriculum and the professors that teach these courses are all board certified or licensed, whatever needs to happen for that. And they're some of the best in the area with career experience and tenured teachers that are putting out some great products in our students.
And like I said earlier, if you're a high school student who maybe didn't live up to your full potential, you had some struggles, in high school.
Absolutely.
This is a great way for you to begin to build consistency, to show determination, and also, if you don't decide to go to the 4-year college, and go make some money.
I know. That I'm telling you, we're gonna get you as a recruiter, Pastor Sharp, because that's the deal. Because you don't want to communicate that a 2-year It's just an ends to a means, you know, or something you do lackadaisically in between.
Yeah.
No, these degrees are credible degrees that will get you entry-level positions. Like we said, you know, LIT is #1 in the state. Listen to this.
Wow.
For median salary 10 years after graduation or 10 years after starting your education. So at least 2 of those years are going to be included in you actually going through the process.
So now hold up, so that people can understand that LIT Beaumont is the #1 institution in the state.
#3 in the nation.
#3 in the nation.
#1 in the state, #3 in the nation for median salary of students 10 years after applying to 2-year institution.
Okay, so they understand, what do you mean by medium income?
That means in the middle. So there's going to be a bottom part of that, and there's going to be a top part of that. The average, the median salary is actually a little bit $47,000.
Wow.
So after 10 years of being, and 2 years of that again will be included in your actual attending the institution. And so we're really talking about after graduation, an 8-year median salary. So, well, somebody said, well, that's still relatively low.
But you, but hold up, Chris, hold up, man. but if I came out at 18 of high school and by 21 I'm out of LIT, I'm still making $47,000. And so for 8 years, by 29, look, I'm still rolling. And
that's median. That's not even top tier. So that's why when I give that explanation, there's another, you know what I'm saying, bracket above that, which is really realistic, more realistic to what our graduates are getting in some of these industries. They're 50 and 60 start. And again, the young lady that I told you, just by not exposing her, but she was 80 start. And that's not uncommon in certain areas. And I would, boy, if I was a 22-year-old with 80,000 in the bank, that's it.
You're talking about now, and so your illustration with the young lady, she comes out of an environment that didn't have all of the things that most people would desire.
Absolutely.
But here she is at whatever age she is. Let's just say she's 25. She's able to buy her own home.
Yes.
She's able to get her own car. She's able to put money in the bank. All behind 2 years.
It is
for 2 years.
2 years. That is the best measure of investment that I feel that anybody can make. It has the greatest sense of return. It has the greatest return. I don't think there are too many. I'm not a big financial guy, but I don't think there are too many investments in this world that you can, you know, put your time and energy into and go from $0 to $80,000.
And let me jump in here real quick, because what's the cost to go to school? And why, man, this is so important that people need to understand of the cost and then the benefit.
Absolutely. Because relatively in a nutshell, one of the figures that I can give securely is that if you took at least 12 hours of classes at our institution, Lamar Institute of Technology, that is considered a full-time load, at least 12 hours. On average, our 2018-2019 fee schedule showed roughly about $2,700.
Wow.
For a 12-hour semester hour load. So roughly about $2,700. That's tuition and fees, not inclusive of any other materials and books. But foundation baseline, a 12-hour full-time student load runs you about $2,700.
So I can calculate real quick. So that means that roughly a 2 year is going to cost me around $11,000, somewhere around there.
Around there. You can graduate with an associate's degree probably for around $11,000 to $12,000.
Okay, so then
you get a job at VASM, excuse me, and they pay you $80,000. And it's a wonderful, wonderful return on investment. And not only that, one of the things I like to say with that, because that is very important to be transparent and talk about those salaries and the costs, but it's also what those people who are hired, who are making those salaries in our community, give back to our community.
Right.
We're driving at least $144 million worth of economic input back into our community. And that means that, you know, as we get students that graduate and they make competitive salaries and they stay in the area, then there's taxes, then there's, you know, the using that money for local business.
Shopping.
shopping, real estate, whatever it is, you know, creating families, and that goes back into our local economy. And so we're really moving the economy in our city, and we really want to be a leader in that.
Wow. Okay. Look, you have 27 certificates that you offer. Okay. Let's see. My goodness.
But I guess in a nutshell, as we talk about those, it's a great way to talk about the abundance of certificates that are offered, but the difference in a certificate and an associate's degree. Associate degree levels are going to be that 2-year degrees that are credible associate's degrees, usually involve taking some mathematics, English, writing, science, or something like that to approve, you know, of those accredited hours. Your certificate, however, is what I like to call an immediate entry into the heart of what it is that you're going to study. For instance, some of our certificate programs in welding, HVAC, diesel mechanic, advanced diesel engine repair, instrumentation, even in the medical aspect, we have billing and coding that are certificates. Real estate and business is considered a 1-year certificate also. And other programs that you can find at our website, www.lit.edu.
And there's the website right there on the screen. It should be happening about right now. There it is.
There you go. Yeah, www.lit.edu. You can go to the website and click on academics, and for every heading, department head, you'll see part of that over on the side is certificate offerings. So pretty much every department at LIT offers some type of certificate program that you can enter in, and that works good. And I really like to plug this for working adult learners. Maybe you started school a long time ago, you know, and you're 40, 45 years old, you want a career change, you want to get back. You don't want to sit in the class with, you know, an 18-year-old taking English 1301, all right? But so you know, if you're intimidated about those mathematics classes, English classes, humanities, sciences, there are other ways that we can get our adult learners involved. So it can be a great opportunity for resume building, great opportunity for even career changes, totally. And so it's just the options are amazing, man.
Hey, listen, we have so much information to share with you. We're going to do a 2-part, and we're going to come back tomorrow. And so we could talk about what LIT is doing in the neighborhood, also the important dates that you need to know. So listen, come back tomorrow, and we'll finish up our interview with Mr. Postal Movie Star. He's on the postage. He's on the postage. So we're gonna come back tomorrow and talk to Chris.
In your mailbox, huh?
He's in the mailbox.
I'm in your mailbox.
And we're gonna come back tomorrow and talk to Christopher Williams again. So listen, I want to thank him for joining us today. And look, come back tomorrow, same time, same channel. We'll be back with you. Thank you for joining us on What's Happening in Our Neighborhood. And we will see you on tomorrow with Christopher Williams with LIT.
A recent grad? Maybe you've been out a few years. Thinking of your future? Check out Lamar Institute of Technology's career choices that lead to great opportunities. LIT offers more than 50 programs of study on campus, online, year-round, and you could graduate in 2 years or less into a job that pays well and is in demand. Register now and get a degree that puts you to work.